A lot of people, talk about my relationship with Pac and trying to figure that out, and that was a huge loss in my life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because he was one of those people that I expected to be here. And my upset is more anger.
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
You would think Will Smith would catch a break after his wife exposed her entanglement with August Alsina on national TV. But apparently that wasn't enough, as she plans to release a tell-all book about her complicated marriage with Will Smith, and she's even going to reveal new shocking details about her relationship with the late Tupac and how he was his soulmate. This doesn't look good for Will, because even after being married to Will for years, Jada still refused to let go of Tupac. Yes, Jada and Tupac were great friends, but the way she talks about Tupac compared to the way she talks about Will, her husband, makes you think that she was married to Tupac for all these years and not Will, so it will always have to compete with a ghost. And why does Jada believes that there is no one like Tupac? Before the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air met his wife, Jada, the actress had an extremely close friendship with one of the greatest rappers to exist, the late but not forgotten Tupac Shakur. The two had a unique friendship. It was in no way romantic, but was deep and meaningful, with Makara magazine saying Pac was still overly protective of Jada, and he was always checking on the men she dated. He felt that any man who stood in the way of his friendship with her would be a problem. Sadly, by the time Jada would get married to Will, Tupac's famous thug life claimed his life and that of another famous rapper known as the Notorious B.I.G. The two lost their lives in a brutal East Coast versus West Coast gang feud. As much as we sympathize with Jada and the loss of a dear friend, we can't help but feel her constant mentions of his name are more for the clout than the remorse of losing a friend. We just can't wrap our heads around why she repeatedly chooses her friend over her living husband. Not only is this unusual to us, but it is a continuously repeated trait of hers. So much so that Jada and Will were reportedly on the brink of divorce many times in the past. The couple has been married for almost 25 years. However, their marriage has been plagued by many unexpected situations, the most famous being Jada's entanglement with singer August Alsina. Jada confirmed that this relationship happened while she was separated from her husband, Will. This revelation not only damaged her marriage, but also sent it to its all-time low. Some fans stood by Jada during this period, with one saying it's an open marriage. Will does his own, the same as Jada. Both of them agreed to be in an open marriage. The only reason Jada came out was because August fell in love with her and spoke about their entanglement in an interview. A majority of fans, however, stood by Will and sympathized with him, as he looked hurt during the interviews that followed the revelation. One fan commented, "Jada, haven't you dragged Will down enough? Go back to your entanglement and give him his manhood and pride back. You don't deserve him." However, it looks like Jada won't rest until she completely destroys Will, because she's now decided to write an entire book about Will and Pac. According to the Associated Press, the presently untitled memoir, due out in 2023, would detail her lessons learned in the course of a difficult but captivating trip. The new book will not only talk about her marriage with Will, but will also dwell heavily on her love for Tupac. This is because of how frequently she has mentioned him in the past. According to a new press release, Jada's new memoir will be a no-holds-barred account of her unconventional upbringing in Baltimore, her complicated marriage to Will Smith, and her parallel rise to stardom alongside Tupac. We all know Jada doesn't really like to praise Will. In fact, she seems to enjoy telling people how unhappy she is in her marriage on national TV and throwing little jabs at Will by comparing him to Pac. Just to give you an idea of how she talks about Will compared to how she talks about Tupac.
The type of relationship we had, you only get that once in a lifetime, so.
Women, and my answer is always, I've always told Will, you can do whatever you want as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and be okay.
Oh, look at Pac.
So you and Tupac were childhood friends.
Yes.
You obviously landed on this show first. Did you lobby to get him on?
I didn't have to lobby to get him on. I think it was a suggestion and everyone was like, yes! And so we kind of did that for each other. We were always trying to look for opportunities to work together. It was because of Pac that I got Menace to Society.
Yeah.
Most people are practicing monogamy because they feel like they have no other choice.
Right.
We all know that most people out here doing unethical non-monogamy any damn way.
It was his poetry. It was his personality. I had never in my life met a person
with
like
that kind of
Pac.
charisma.
He had so much charisma, and he didn't have. He was poor.
Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me
without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film it.
Astaire, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Cause she don't just.
Will even previously admitted that he was always jealous of the bond Jada had with Tupac.
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Fuck yeah.
I know you
Oh
say
my
no.
God, that dude. Let me, like, and you know, and that was in the early days.
Yeah.
That was in the early days, and it was like, that was a big regret for me too, because I could never.
A number of insiders who witnessed Jada and Pac's relationship also confirmed that Pac loved Jada only as a friend or a sister. Despite this, whenever you listen to Jada talk about Pac, it sounds like she is trying to convince everyone that what she had with him was a beautiful romance from a Disney movie. And the sad part of all this is that even their kids were dragged into the Will versus Tupac mess. When Willow was only 11 years old, she wrote a letter to Tupac asking him to come back so her mommy could be happy. In the letter, Willow wrote, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and I can be happy? I really wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow." It is important to note that Willow had never met Tupac, so for her to write a letter to him saying that he would make her mother happy if he returned just shows that how much he still affects their family life, because it looks like Jada continues to talk about him, even behind closed doors. Once again, Jada has decided to use Tupac's name for some more attention. The press release also states that Jada will recount the excruciating choices she was forced to make to redefine her life in every way, and adds that at the heart of this powerful book are two unexpected love stories. The book is slated to come out in the fall of 2023, but has already started receiving backlash from the masses. Reacting to the news of Jada's new book, one user wrote, "She's part of the worst wives club. Jada is truly one of the most inauthentic, pretentious person out here. Then she hallucinates about being loved by Tupac." Another user said, "It's sad that she compares him to Tupac. Will deserves better, but I see he wants to keep the family together. So Jada doesn't know how lucky she is to have Will Smith." Another person added, "Dang, she is toxic. No wonder Will is a broken man. She has used Tupac's ghost to make her husband and even her children feel inadequate. Tupac would more than have likely dumped her, even if it was platonic, and never looked back when her mind games became apparent. He probably would have grown to actually hate her. Will's problem is he has low self-esteem and is easily manipulated by her." But what do you think? Do you believe that Jada is over milking the Tupac narrative, or is she genuinely mourning a dear friend? And if you thought this entire situation was messy, wait till you watch this next video.